the writing.
Hi, I'm Ruth Ann Norden,
And I'm Janet Siasnitzik.
and we are on Stages of Writing number 3, and that is writing
It is
the actual
writing.
book.
Exactly. I think Ruth and I agree that there's no right way to write. You can write according to however you want to write.
Right.
Tell them
true.
about
That's right.
tell them about your day, how you do your writing.
It's pretty much all through the day, except for evenings, because evenings I got to shut down because I have school-age kids. I usually write at night. I used to write at night. At least when I got the bulk in, but then, getting up early with the kids, well, that kind of put the kibosh on everything because then kids no longer took a nap during the day anyway when they were home, so I had to get a good night's sleep. And it took about 6 months before I was actually in the routine where I could write in the morning. And if the kids are home, then I pretty much just like 10, 15 minutes at a time as I find time here and there. So I don't have that, that fantasy that, the author's in a cabin, it's snowing outside.
Right.
There's some wine and there's the fire in the fireplace. The New York Times bestsellers posters are right there, They're just like reaping the money. It's just coming in. They're just typing away. The story comes so naturally to them. What is my usual writing day like? If the kids are home, it's mom, and I'm like, hold on, I gotta finish this sentence, and I'm not New York Times bestselling author, not USA Next Time selling author, and everything, and man, it's just not anything like it's portrayed in the movies. Like you have that big bulk of time, or yeah, your spouse is out there. Maybe if you're a guy, okay, but since I'm a mom and I'm a wife, it's my husband's on the couch or whatever, and I still have to. Okay, I have to go make dinner, so I have to stop everything I'm doing to go make dinner. And after that, there's this catastrophe happening in another room that I got to break up a fight and all this stuff. That's my usual writing day. What's your usual writing day?
My writing day is I have two handicapped children. I have 4 children in total, but 2 are handicapped and I have autism. And the one is in a group home, but one is still with us. I try to write during the day when he's not there. Not that he's a big problem. He doesn't talk or anything, but it gives me more quiet time.
Right.
Except for my husband interrupting me and reading us all of these
that
newspaper
is true.
stories.
My husband interrupts me too when he's not at work. He comes up to me with all these Yahoo articles that he's reading, and I'm like, dude, the kids are in school. This is the only time I got that's actually quiet. Well, it's not work.
Right.
To him, it's not work. And I don't know, some people probably have husbands that understand, leave them alone, or wives that do. But, that's not our case.
But the thing you need to know is there's no right way or wrong way. It's just however fits into your schedule. I would say one thing is that if you're working, you have to plan around maybe in the weekends or an evening or something like that. However you want to get that time in. Just make sure you get the time in. You have a word count that you try to make every day, don't you?
Yes. I do not always make it. But what I don't, some people try to make up for the next day. I don't do that. That's too much pressure to put on you. Every day starts off fresh. So I'll have a certain word count and I actually write 3 or 4 books at a time. So I'll be like, well, if I'm getting close to the end, 1,000 words in this book today, and 500 in this one, maybe 250 in this one, 250 in another one. But if I don't make it, I just don't make it, and I don't worry about it. I don't stress that.
And I'm more into the scene. I'll try to finish a scene. I don't do a word. And I have a tendency, you do how many drafts, Ruth? You do first draft, second draft?
I do the first draft, and the second draft is kind of like a basic polish up, and then I send it out to people to read.
And I kind of do, because I'm from a reporter background, I kind of keep editing as I'm going along. That doesn't mean that I stop there. I mean, I go back and do a full edit and send it out to other people, but I also
edit as you go.
I edit as I go as much as I can. Of course, I still see things later, but...
Well, yeah.
But because I had the reporter background, we had to do that and polish it up before we sent the deadline. Of course, you had the deadline, so you couldn't completely do it maybe exactly the way you want to do it because you had a deadline to meet.
And what I do is I finish the first draft, then I go and look through the whole thing.
Right.
To polish up before I send out. And that's what we're talking about. You polish up, but then you have to have your editing team.
Right.
But we're going to talk more about that
well,
in the future anyway.
And there is there's some people that do plotting. We met somebody
plotters versus pansters. We are both 2 pansters. Okay?
Exactly.
So we're talking about we just start the story and to see where it goes.
Exactly.
Some people do really detailed outlines, but I think they write a book in a week or something like that.
I don't know.
Because they have everything plotted out ahead of time.
I just keep thinking that when we met in Kansas City 2 years ago, and we were at a conference there, and she had a whole big thing, and I'm talking that you could put on your bed.
It was, what was it called? Something like
outline.
Posters that were all together.
Yeah.
All these, were there poster cards all together, or
Yeah,
like
I
3
can
by
remember,
5
but I mean,
cards
it
that
was
were just all laid
it
out?
was it was just, I mean, really, you had to have a space on your bed to put it at, because she had her whole storyline. Each scene was outlined that she was going to do.
Detailed, very detailed. Exactly
And
what
I
was gonna
thought, I
happen.
can't handle that, because when I get to a scene, I have an overall idea where I want to go with the book. And then how I get there is just by the seat of my pants, because I write a scene, and just like I was writing this morning, I said, you know what? It'd be nice to have tuberculosis. And so I put that in there. Well, she had tuberculosis.
It'd be nice to give someone tuberculosis. That would be the dream come true. Jan, you are morbid. But anyway, I think what we're talking about is the differences. You know, some people plot, some people don't, and some people do a mixture of both.
Right, that's true too.
So it's kind of like find your comfort spot and then go with that.
Right, and so just don't feel like you're locked in any certain way to go, because there's no wrong way to go.
Right.
It's just however you feel that you want it, that you feel comfortable with. Just make sure you do find time for writing, or you're never going to get it.
That's just it. It's got to be a priority. Too many people say they want to write, but they don't write until they're in the mood. But you know, if you wait until you're in the mood, it's never going to get done.
Right.
Think of any day job that someone's hiring you to do. And you're going to be like, well, you know what? Hey, boss, I just don't feel in the mood to do this today. So, you know, still pay me and everything, but I think I'm just going to go watch some TV or do a puzzle or something, because I'm just not in the mood. I make myself sit down and write on those days when I have scheduled to do it. And sometimes it is like pulling teeth. Sometimes I go through the whole day and only write 500 words. Right. And it feels like I did so much. And there are some days I sit down and I write 2,000 or 3,000 words, right. And it's been like only a couple hours.
Right. It just somehow it flows for you on a certain day. And then what else you got going on in your life? I mean, you know, like if your kids are home, like Ruth's kids are home, and then it's going to slow you down. Yeah. You know, like with me, it's just maybe there's other things that come in there that have problems with in your whole day, or you're busy going here and going there. One thing I do like for myself is I like to have a stretch of time to write. Because
I do too. It's just not always realistic.
Yeah, I mean, we do get the kids running around, but I like to have a stretch of time. And I feel like if I'm just writing for 10 minutes, I might as well go ahead and do something else like marketing or something like that. But if I got a stretch of maybe an hour or an hour and a half, then I feel like I can get more in the flow. What I feel like is if I start something in 10 minutes, it's going to stop. And then, you know, and I stop my flow.
Sometimes that's just how I do it. That's just how I roll.
And
so the story's always always going in my head at any time during the day because of that, and I'm always in story mode. But another thing too is if you really don't feel like writing, if it's just not happening, you know, take that day to edit.
Right.
You know, at least do something productive with that time. Don't just sit there and like, oh, I'm just going to play solitaire on my computer, or I'm just going to hang out and pal around on Facebook.
Right.
You know, actually dedicate that time to doing something writing related. Right. And this is why I like to do more than one story at a time, and I know some people can't do it. But, you know, since I can, I'm like, you know, at least I can edit this book, or maybe I can work on a book cover for this other book. Maybe I can, you know.
She's a multitasker. I have a hard time. I have to do one at a time because I get the stories mixed up. And so I would have a hard time doing that. So
see, and I don't. It's just,
I mean, I'll want something. Well, is this in this story? Is that in that story? So I would have a hard time with that. But that's according to your personalities. Yeah. Some people are multitaskers, others are not. You know, and you got to feel like there's no right or wrong way to go. You know, because it's just up to your personality and what fits into you, in with your lifestyle at the time. Yep. Yeah.
So we talk about writing. What is number 4? Because the next one will be number 4. And
it's critiquing.
Critiquing, is that including editing?
No, that's just critiquing.
Okay, critiquing is next.